Really happy to welcome in Heather Creech today, who is a health promotions specialist with Profile, and we will learn a little bit more about what that means specifically. But Heather, first I wanted to just say hello and that it's very nice to meet you. And I come from a family of teachers, educators, and I know that is your background. So I'm always sort of intrigued by what led you down that path and then what led you down your current path. So you were an educator for 15 years, right? At what level?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. So excited. I was an elementary educator in fifth grade and then elevated up to sixth grade educator. And I taught middle school science for the remainder of my career for the last 10 years with the intention of eventually becoming a principal and loved it. But like any career, there's a lot of things and challenges about the job that kind of wear on you. And you get to a fork in the road and you're like, I'm either going to continue to grow or challenge myself. So I spent the majority of my career hoping to inspire my students to do what you love, do what you're good at, and what do you want to change about the world. So those are the three things that we focused on. And continuing into the space that I was currently in, I felt like I had accomplished all I had set up to accomplish. And in the midst of that, I had also accumulated 50 pounds extra on the frame that I currently have. And so navigating my own health and wellness journey kind of inspired me to take what I love, which I love human anatomy, biology, cellular biology. And I'm really good at helping people. And I was really good at in the classroom personalization of what I taught. And what I wanted to change about the world was, really help simplify people taking better care of themselves and giving themselves permission. So ironically, I'm a product of a really great couple of coaches. And so a former educator friend of mine asked me if I had ever heard about Profile as I was exiting and resigning from education. And I was like, I'd never heard of it. We weren't in the Stanford, footprint. And so I kind of ignored it for a little bit because I felt super underqualified, not realizing that part of the expectation would be to be developed into a coach for Profile. And so after I learned about the mission and the goals of the company in general, I was like, I think I've landed where I'm supposed to be. So I'm very grateful for the road that led me here.
Yeah. It sounds like the questions that you had always been asking your students and encouraging your students to answer were the questions that you had to answer. And it turns out your answers led you down the fork in the road as you described it. So you took a little bit of a turn.
I did. And it's interesting too, because so many people that I've grown to love and respect within my admin intern program, they thought I was crazy. They thought I was throwing my career away. And now to this day, when I still see them, we coach some of them. They'll even say, I wish I would have, or I wish I would have taken that leap of faith or having the courage. And I just felt in my heart of hearts that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. And so I've been very blessed to land here and be able to impact others the way that my life was impacted when, again, peak of my career, but also my most unhealthiest. And that was hard to see.
So you had said in your biography that what pulled you towards Profile was Profile's mission and how they approached that mission. Explain what you mean by that.
Absolutely. One of the things that I loved about our franchise owner when I was briefed about the mission with Profile by Stanford was truly, we wanted to end type 2 diabetes and we wanted to reverse artery disease, which those are pretty lofty goals.
Yes.
We wanted to do that by educating and empowering our members. We don't know what we don't know. And having that background in education and knowing that once I understood my body and understood proper portions and most importantly, being willing to learn and unlearn some of the things that I thought were true about food and taking better care of ourselves, it's just a light bulb went off. Like I used to see that in my students and to see that in our members and seeing those missions, unfold, before our very eyes here in just our St. Louis location, seeing members that are going to be off insulin this time next year, seeing members have their medications cut in half. Yes. So to see it and just their approach of layering it one variable at a time, right? And, in my former education world, it's like you kept rinsing, repeating until it worked for a student. And that's what we get to do here at Profile. We get to set those SMART goals, have that accountability piece, and really pull out the positives, even on the hard weeks, even during a global pandemic, and really help members see their goals through. For some of these members, it's the first time they've ever been successful with something like this because they've had that guidance and support. So I'm gone. I'm so in with this company.
So when you made the transition from educator to an actual job with Profile, did you start the Profile program and then uh, get a job there, or did you get a job and then coincidentally also start the program while you worked there?
It's so ironic. I wish I would have started this program. I actually had gone through my own wellness journey and did this the hard way. I did Profile in reverse, and it took me, and I'm not joking, 5 years to lose 50 pounds. And I'm on my third year currently in Sustain. Um, and I'm seeing members do that here within 3 or 4 months because I was stubborn and just kept taking bits and pieces of nutrition and activity and changing my lifestyle. Whereas here it's in a pretty package and it's all in one. So Profile didn't exist when I was going through that personally. But right before we opened our doors, I got the opportunity to test drive our balance protocol. I had just had a major surgery right before we opened our doors and was able to, and I know you're an athlete as well. I was told I couldn't exercise for 8 solid weeks after this major surgery. And for me, I was like, in my head, I thought, I'm going to undo everything that I've worked so hard over the past 5 years. And I had to really put my faith and push my chips, and not just a coach, but as a member as well, and follow this protocol because my body required extra calories to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not, I felt good, and I didn't exercise, which was huge for me because I had come from a world where we exercise, and it's been life-changing. So I personally did Profile in reverse. But then once I became a coach and saw this working so well for others, I want to practice what I preach here. So I put myself on balance while recovering from a major surgery, and I'm just very pleasantly surprised.
It's interesting how sometimes the roundabout way will get you there. It's not always the quickest path, but the biggest takeaway is that you got there. You found the road that got you there. So the 50 pounds.
Yes,
50
ma'am.
pounds was what you lost in reverse, as you say it. But now you know how to maintain that. You've learned the right lessons of how to live and how to go about your daily activities and how to have a wedding weekend and do all the things that are life and maintain the weight that you want to be and where you are now.
Absolutely. It's when I say reverse, I tried to do the whole exercise regimen first, then try to focus on nutrition. Whereas Profile, to me, layers all the variables in correctly, fueling our body properly, starting off with those first 4 weeks of really focusing and being honest about our intake, then layering in and pushing activity. I think that's truly why it took me so long, is I was over exercising, under fueling. And as a result, my body stored. And that's very frustrating. You're a working professional, you're a mother, and to make that time and nothing changes, very frustrating. So I think me having to take the long way around also helps in our role as coaches to be a little bit more empathetic when our members do come to us and they are frustrated and they do feel stuck, that we're like, hey, we're going to show you how to get there. We're going to layer one variable at a time and you're going to be successful. And that's just so rewarding to see.
Yeah, that's hard when you think you're doing everything right and it's not happening for you. You're the current title that you hold, Health Promotions Specialist. Explain what that means and what you do.
So I transitioned from full-time coach to this role to really help grow our business, help promote our brand, and be present in the community. Much bigger than just just coaching. We're locking arms with other essential businesses like gyms, and my role is also to for anyone that's a member here at our location, for every 10% body fat that they release, I go and report that to physicians so that medications can be reevaluated, so that doctors are seeing the efforts that their patients are making to live that healthier lifestyle, which, doctors don't always have that time to sit down one-on-one with their patients.
Right.
They're very quick to say, eat healthy and exercise. And we're like, yay, what's that look like? And so we get to go and showcase that to physicians. Another part of my role is I lock arms with some of our chambers, and we volunteer our time. We do some activities within the community, but truly just want to be a catalyst for change in St. Louis. So in order to do that, I have to burst out of our walls and have a presence in our community.
And one of the things kind of along those lines that you had written is that one of your missions is to help people become unstuck, establish healthier relationships, play offense when it comes to making healthier lifestyles. So healthier lifestyle choices? What does it mean to help people become unstuck and to play offense?
Whew, that word is very powerful to me because I remember when I stood on the scale and I saw a number. So I'll be honest with my coach, I never told him my real number because I didn't think I'd hit it. And when I hit it,
you mean your goal number?
my goal number, yes, I actually shot underneath it because I've always been kind of a short, stocky, muscular soccer player. But when I hit that under that goal, that was the first thing my coach said to me was, "Don't you ever tell me you're stuck again." And that's when I was like, I did this, like it really, the light bulb went off for me, and it was reversal for me for, being able to help my students' light bulbs go off for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I did this. And so when members come to us, they have tried so many different interventions to take better care of themselves on their own and exhausted so many resources, so much money, so that by the time they come to us with great confidence, we can look at them and honestly say, we're going to help you get unstuck. We're going to help remind you what it feels like and what it tastes like to be successful. We're not helpless. There's a lot. I always say, even in the education world, I say we're data rich and information poor. We're going to help you kind of quiet the noise, really simplify and get back to basics and help you play offense, because we know over the course of the last year and a half, there's been a lot of things that are out of our control, but I can't help but think with our efforts and our mission with Profile, we're helping people play offense by building healthy immune systems, getting to a healthier BMI, preventing future cancers and diseases, that we're not helpless. We're actually a lot more in control than we probably give ourselves credit.
Yeah, I like that. That's the first thing I thought of when you said play offense. I thought of getting ahead of it, being in control, setting the tone, whatever sports cliche
Yes.
you want to use there, but it's very true. And just the way you laid it out there, that's that makes perfect sense. And it's a really interesting way. I don't know that I've heard it quite worded that way. And I haven't heard the unstuck term used quite like that either, but that one resonates too. And it sounds like it really resonates with you just because of that light bulb moment with your coach. And you never know when you're going to hit the right person at the right time with the right information. And then it can be something you never let go of it. You just never let go.
Absolutely. I can't even believe I can't say that word without getting emotional, because I still remember how that felt. I remember taking a picture of that number going, that's not right. I stepped on and off the scale twice. I'm like, this is not, wow. And just to have that moment of, I made these changes, my body released unwanted fat, I felt good, I felt confident. And I truly wanted to redo some of the pictures I took as a teacher, because I looked back at some of my badges and I was like, oh gosh, that's not who I saw in the mirror. So to help our members, be in that moment of just complete vulnerability and just feeling like very apprehensive to trust us after they've done so many things, to be proactive. There's nothing like it to help someone get unstuck. That means a lot to me.
I can tell. I can tell. Even through a Zoom screen, I could tell you got a little choked up there. Ultimately, Heather, as the health promotions specialist and the mission that you're on, ultimately, what does success look like? How are you satisfied at the end of the day?
Wow. Just knowing that what we do matters now more than ever. We opened our doors prior to this pandemic to help address the obesity epidemic. It's not like people wake up and want to eat poorly and have a lack of energy or exercise. Like, what we were doing to help empower our members to make these changes has a domino effect. And I think that's the part that lights me up the most. It's, yes, our members are making these changes and they're getting to a healthier BMI and weight and feeling good, but it transcends to their family, their friends, their kids. Being in the education world for so long, you could noticeably see that our children mimic how we handle stress, how we eat, and what we drink. And so I can't help but think from this balcony view of, health promotion specialist, profile coach, that we are helping members make some substantial changes that I'm hoping will be the generations that change the future of how our relationship with food and our attitude towards activity and just being happy in general.
What a wonderful goal to have, and what a wonderful outlook on life. That's why we value people like you. We need people like you. Thank you for what you're doing, Heather. That is awesome. I can hear it in your voice. I can see it in your face. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity. I feel very blessed to be a part of this company and attach my name to Profile.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I appreciate the time today, Heather. Really nice getting to know you. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, guys.
That's Heather Creech, a health and promotion specialist from St. Louis, Missouri, and part of the Profile by Sanford team. Thanks, everyone, for listening to and watching, if you did, this episode of Profiles in Health and Wellness.